we'll talk offline if you want to.
Sure.
I've got all kinds of scripts for that. All right, page 16, scenario. You are representing a single buyer. Your client is retiring her present, or I'm sorry, your client is renting her present property. Get my binoculars on here so I can see what I'm reading. Like any first-time buyer, she is looking to you to guide her through the process. The asking price for the home she really loves is $175,000. The house appears to have evidence of a roof leak, is listed as is, and is correctly priced. Your client would like to keep her payments as low as possible since she still has a number of student loans to pay off. She wants to write an offer for $155,000. So $20,000 under. There has been quite a bit of activity on the listing. And let's just add one more bullet point. The cumulative days on market is 7. Larry, go.
Any questions to ask your client?
Yeah.
I would highly
Let's talk.
recommend
This is a round table. Let's talk it out.
Okay. I would recommend they don't do anything like that. I always tell my buyers, usually the first week on the market, you're probably going to get 0 to anything off of the listing price. Especially if you're going to ask for closing costs. You know, even if it's been on the market for a long time, I don't recommend, throwing I mean, 20,000 on this maybe isn't bad, but lowballing is not the way to go. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
And I've written some just because you got to do what your client wants you to do in the end. I mean, if you can't get them to, to understand, I mean, even if there's a script, if they just want to be stubborn, and unfortunately there are some out there.
Yeah. Let's do this. All of that is dead on. I want to actually practice a script. So I'm your buyer. Larry, I like this house. It's the one I want. I know it's priced at $175,000. I want to offer $155,000. I mean, they are asking as is, and I know that you keep telling me it's priced correctly for the market in an as is condition, but I really want to go in at $155,000. Would you write that offer for me?
Well, first thing I would see is if we had shown that house, okay, you can make a little offer and run the risk of the seller rejecting it or countering back at full price to compensate.
Well, how about 160?
Okay.
Now you're going to read number 2.
Yeah, you can make an offer closer to the asking price and be less flexible if there's a counter offer.
Well, what if I offer them $175,000 and then we just beat them up during inspections?
Well, if you really want this home and are concerned that another buyer may purchase it, you can make a full price offer and give the seller what they want. And then that's what I would do. Negotiate it during.
Now, does everybody see how I asked the questions and I knew exactly what he's going to say? So does anybody doubt that I have nearly everything in that book pretty much memorized, really just because of years of experience? I'm telling you, that stuff is gold. Drink it every day. Did you read me a paragraph? Did you browbeat me? Did you get emotional? Or was it just a 1-sentence reply?
Now, what if you, say you're not armed with this here. Say you're not necessarily even a newer agent, but
Yep.
you don't have all the scripts.
Yep.
One thing I would do, and I've done it before, is if agents are doing what they're supposed to do and signing in at a listing, which not a lot do, but in 7 days, if it's had a lot of action like this says, I would ask my buyer, why do you think you deserve this house for $155,000 when they've had multiple showings on it?
Yeah.
you know.
That's a good one. And look at that. What was that, like 5, 6, 7 words? Here's another one. Now, I use this one all the time. So you're with your buyer, who is also your seller, and they want to lowball. And by the way, in this market, nobody's really lowballing right now, but people are trying to, go under $5,000. Especially when the other, because remember, I already talked to the other agent. I already know what the seller's needs are. And the listing agent has already told me, yes, Rob, we have 5 offers. We suggest that you make your best and final offer up front. Okay. And I've communicated that to my buyer. And now they still want to come in $1,000 under whatever. Here's what I tell them. Mrs. Smith, your home's going to be on the market as soon as we win the contract on this home. And I use words like that, win. I want them to get engaged, so I'll use words like that. So if you list your home, and I use pauses, and somebody comes to your home, somebody like, you, and they want to offer you the same amount of money off of the price of your home as you want to do on this home, and you know that this is the home you want, right? And by this time, at this point in the conversation, their body language is just vomiting off of their face. I love it because I'm looking for it. Because I don't want them to feel trapped, okay? I'm not trying to pain them, I'm not trying to poke them. I'm trying to be professional. I'm smiling, right? And then, just as it says on bullet point number 3 here on page 17, just keep quiet. That moment is so magical. There's an agent here locally who just can't help themselves. They just talk nonstop. They talk over you, they interrupt you, like you can never say a word. And they're actually a pretty good agent, but I often think to myself, what if they didn't do that? What if that person just stopped and said, how would you feel if they did that to you? And then smile.
I always do that to them.
I know we're not in church, but can I get a hallelujah?
Yeah.
Makes sense,
I
right?
mean, put the shoe on the other foot. What if you were the seller? Would
Yeah,
you take
put the shoe on the other foot.
every single time?
Right? So everybody remember this game, the Itsy Bitsy Spy? Okay. Basically, we are trying to pair the needs. We've got the seller needs, the buyer needs. This is all you need. I don't care if you're selling the F-150 fighter jets or trucks or whatever. You only need to know the seller's needs and the buyer's needs, and you need to know where they line up. And you really only need one, and it doesn't have to be price. All right. Page 17. I wrote a little something in here. I found that I wrote a lot of little extra somethings in here in this particular chapter. Be nice. Who remembers? What's that old show, 80s or something, with Patrick Swayze, and he's a bouncer?
Oh, Roadhouse? No.
Roadhouse. Okay, do you remember? Who's seen Roadhouse? Okay, well, so I'll talk to the two of you then. So you two, you need to go. You trust me? Netflix it. You'll like it.
Right, that's right.
Girl night, right?
It's
So-
7 million too,
So do you remember in the movie when he's at the new nightclub and he's got his new bouncers and he's saying, above all else, be
Nice, I guess.
be nice.
He said it up
If they
there.
break a bottle, draw a knife, and draw a gun on you, kindly escort them outside and be nice. Yes? It's magic. And if your personality lends itself, be humorous. Not slap happy, but be humorous. Or be charming. Or, you know, keep it light. Make sense?